Was good, everybody. I'm going to go. Was good, everybody. So I'm going to basically break down this particular fight, starting with statistics, and then I'll give you my predictions at the end, and my thoughts after we go through the statistics. So Jiri Prochazka versus Khalil Rountree. So first, the statistics. As far as what do you call it, reach, Yiri is going to have a 3.5-inch reach advantage, which is going to be really significant, especially considering the fight will probably all play out on the feed. Finishing ability, both of them are pretty good at finishing fights, but Jiri Prochazka is exceptionally good with a 97% finishing rate, which is extremely high. Um, as far as what do you call it? Volume and output, Jiri Prochazka is going to be a little bit more active than Khalil Rountree. He's going to be throwing a lot more, maybe not a lot more, but significantly more than Khalil Rountree. Um, those are synonyms. What am I saying? Anyway, defensively, both of them are pretty much on the same level. Not particularly great, but we all know that Yiri is not particularly great defensively. But in his last fight, he looked very improved, and I actually feel incredible that I actually picked him because a lot of people were saying, nah, he's gonna get knocked out. Actually, who was he fighting in that particular fight? Yeah, Jamal Hill, right? They both actually have a common opponent in Jamal Hill, but Jiri Prochazka was able to finish Jamal Hill in the third round, yes. And then Khalil Rountree, if I'm not mistaken, actually went to a decision with Jamal Hill. Let me see. Yes, he went to a decision with Jamal Hill. He won decisively, but I mean, Jiri Prochazka looked the levels above Jamal Hill, and if that's any indication, Jiri Prochazka is probably going to get this one done. But that's not just the only. That's not the only reason I think he's going to actually get it done. Um, the wrestling, I mean, both of them are not particularly great at wrestling. I mean, Khalil Rountree um, has outrightly said he's not going to wrestle. When he was fighting, what do you call him? Alex Pereira. So I don't expect him to even try to wrestle in this particular fight. Yiri is pretty decent, not great, not good, decent. I mean, he was able to submit Glover Teixeira. You can call it luck, you can call it whatever you want, but he was able to submit him. So there is some level of grappling skill in there. But in all honesty, I do feel like Jiri Prochazka has improved significantly, especially when you look at his previous fight. Like I said, a lot of people were saying he was going to lose that particular fight, and boy, did he prove everyone wrong. So, as far as personally how I feel the fight is going to play out on the feet, I think Jiri Prochazka is offensively really good as far as striking goes. Um, Defensively, I mean, he was lacking, but in his last fight with Jamal Hill, he looked exceptionally improved, right? My biggest concern is that Khalil Rountree has really good leg kicks, and Jiri Prochazka struggled against that, against Alex Pereira when it came to leg kicks. So that might be my biggest concern. But I think Jiri Prochazka is one of the few fighters who are able to, I don't know, go through pain, but I mean, I wanted to say go through pain and still find a way to actually win. Look at the fight between him and Alexander Rakig. That was an incredible performance. Because at one point I thought, okay, Jiri Prochazka is losing another fight. And then he came back and actually won, right? But that's not the best way to actually win a fight. So, in all honesty, Khalil Rountree genuinely has a significant shot at actually winning this one. But purely because I feel like if the fight, I don't know, if someone gets desperate and they decide to shoot, I think Jiri Prochazka will probably win those exchanges. On the feet, offensively, I think Jiri Prochazka has a higher probability of finishing this fight. is a little bit more dynamic. Not even a little bit, a lot more dynamic with the strikes, the leg kicks, the spinning elbows. Whereas I feel like Khalil Rountree just rushes in. There's technique in what he does, but over time, it's kind of like okay, let me not compare him to Israel Adesanya, but effectively what he does, how Khalil Rountree fights is only effective when he's fresh, right? And I know a lot of people are going to say, well, it was effective against Jamal Hill. That's true, but I've never really felt like Jamal Hill was that great of an athlete. Okay, there was a point, especially during the period when he beat Glover Teixeira. I actually picked him to beat Glover Teixeira. I actually thought he would continue to improve, but it seems like he stayed in one place. But yeah, I feel like Khalil Rountree rushes into the pocket, and obviously rushing into the pocket will not be as effective as you get tired, unless it was very effective early. I think Jiri Prochazka is really, really good offensively. The biggest question is, can he avoid getting hit by big shots? Because Khalil Rountree has enough power to actually knock him out, right? So I'm just worried about Yiri's the defensive striking, as well as the leg kicks from Khalil Rountree. Other than that, I do feel like Jiri Prochazka should have an advantage. I think he should win this particular fight. My subscribers are also going with Jiri Prochazka. And that concludes it. Thank you for joining me. See you on the next one. Deuces.